Robert Downey Jr. just turned down the biggest Marvel comeback of his career, and it wasn't because of the script. It was because of Ryan Reynolds. After 5 years away from the MCU, RDJ had the chance to return as Iron Man in Deadpool and Wolverine, a cameo that would have broken the internet. But instead of seizing the spotlight, he slammed the door shut. No negotiation. No second thoughts. Just a cold, hard no. Why would Marvel's most iconic hero walk away from a golden opportunity? According to insiders, it wasn't about the money or the role. It was about what's happening behind the scenes. What Downey saw in Ryan Reynolds made him want nothing to do with it. And now, the truth is starting to leak, and it's uglier than anyone expected. Just imagine this. You're Ryan Reynolds. You've built $1 billion franchise off the back of Deadpool. But now, you're not just fighting villains on screen. You're fighting legal sharks, studio politics, and betrayals that go deeper than any Marvel plot twist. This story starts with one of the most shocking rejections in superhero history. According to a now-deleted Hollywood leak, Ryan Reynolds personally reached out to Robert Downey Jr. and offered him the role of Dr. Doom in the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Sounds epic, right? Except, Robert turned him down. And not because he was too busy or uninterested. Rumors suggest it was because of Ryan. Yes, insiders say Robert didn't want to get involved in what he allegedly called a PR circus. That's harsh. But what circus was he referring to? Well, that takes us back to a hidden truth about Deadpool's rise to fame. One man who should be celebrated as a hero of the franchise has been completely erased. Rob Liefeld, the original creator of Deadpool. Years ago, Liefeld was one of the loudest voices hyping Ryan's portrayal of the character. He was a proud supporter, until suddenly, he wasn't. In a bombshell interview, Rob exposed the behind-the-scenes manipulation that turned Deadpool from a passion project into a PR machine. According to Rob, after the first film's success, Ryan and his team started systematically cutting out anyone who didn't align with their narrative. Rob was excluded from marketing, premieres, and eventually had all communication cut. And when he spoke up, he claims Ryan blacklisted him, painting him as difficult in studio circles. But Rob isn't the only one with this story. Multiple insiders, including former co-stars and writers, have subtly hinted at a toxic undercurrent behind Ryan's clean-cut image. Morena Baccarin, who played Vanessa in the Deadpool films, mysteriously disappeared from the promotional trail. Fans noticed, and when they asked why, Ryan's team blamed scheduling conflicts. But whispers online suggest something else. Morena may have clashed with the star over creative differences and was allegedly iced out of the marketing machine. Why does that matter? Because Ryan has long been credited not just as an actor, but the creative force behind Deadpool. And anyone challenging that image seems to be quietly pushed aside. Now enter Justin Baldoni, the seemingly unrelated actor and producer who suddenly found himself at the center of a swirling legal and media storm involving Blake Lively, Ryan's wife. While the details remain murky, what we do know is that Blake initiated legal proceedings tied to a production Baldoni was involved in. Fans were quick to take sides, some blaming Baldoni, others calling out Blake for overreach. But beneath the surface, another question was brewing. Was Ryan using this lawsuit to shift attention away from his own controversies? Remember, this legal drama erupted just as Deadpool and Wolverine began its final promotional push. And guess who was being dragged back into the spotlight? Hugh Jackman, a beloved Marvel icon who had previously retired from the role of Wolverine. Hugh was supposed to be done, but suddenly, he's back. And sources suggest he didn't return out of pure love for the role, but out of loyalty to Ryan. Or perhaps, guilt? According to unconfirmed reports, Hugh was approached as a reputation fixer, someone who could stabilize the narrative and drown out the growing noise of lawsuits, PR scandals, and creative feuds. And that's not all. The timing of Ryan and Blake's joint appearance at the Time 100 Gala, a red carpet soaked in performative smiles, felt almost too convenient. Was this a power couple reaffirming their bond? Or was it a calculated move to silence breakup rumors and distract from the courtroom chaos? Whatever the truth, one thing is clear. Behind Ryan Reynolds' signature smirk lies a web of carefully curated press, silenced collaborators, and strategic distractions. From Robert Downey Jr.'s cold refusal to Rob Liefeld's public betrayal, to the growing shadows cast by Baldoni and Baccarin, the Deadpool universe is starting to look more like a legal thriller than a superhero comedy. So, the next time you see a witty Ryan Reynolds tweet or a heartwarming Blake Lively interview, ask yourself, what aren't we being told? And now, let's talk about the one person who could burn this whole empire to the ground, Taylor Swift. Yes, the global pop icon. What does she have to do with this? Everything. You see, Taylor isn't just Blake Lively's best friend, she's also one of the most powerful media players in the entertainment industry. Her image is tightly controlled, her alliances carefully chosen, and her loyalty conditional. For years, Taylor and Blake have presented an unshakable friendship to the public. From joint vacations to social media shoutouts, their bond looked unbreakable. But when the lawsuit involving Justin Baldoni escalated, something changed. Fans noticed that Taylor suddenly went radio silent on Blake. No Instagram likes, no red carpet appearances together, no shoutouts, nothing. That may not seem like much, unless you know how Taylor operates. Her silence is her weapon. And in this case, it was deafening. Was Taylor distancing herself to avoid the fallout? Or had she seen something behind the scenes that the public hadn't? Some speculate that Taylor's own team warned her, stay away until the dust settles. Because if Blake's lawsuit backfired, or worse, if new allegations surface, being associated with her could damage Taylor's spotless brand. Others whisper something even darker, that Taylor may have actually tried to intervene behind the scenes and was ignored. That's when the gloves came off. But that's not the only friendship being tested. Let's revisit Hugh Jackman for a moment. Despite the big smiles in press interviews and the bromance fans love to obsess over, there's an unease in the air. Hugh is a veteran of Hollywood's harshest trenches. He knows what it means to get used as a human shield. And now, that's exactly what he's become, whether he realizes it or not. One insider even described his sudden return as a favor under pressure, a quiet obligation repaid after past studio conflicts where Ryan allegedly played mediator. And now, Hugh's paying that debt. But how long can he keep smiling for the cameras while the world behind him burns? Meanwhile, Ryan's silence on the Blake versus Baldoni lawsuit is speaking volumes. Not a single direct comment. No public statement. Not even a cryptic social media post, something he's known for. That calculated silence isn't indifference, it's a tactic. The less he says, the harder it is to be held accountable. And yet, the louder the silence grows, the more the public starts connecting the dots. It's not just a lawsuit. It's a distraction, a mask, a weapon. And perhaps that's the core of this entire scandal, the weaponization of image. Ryan Reynolds isn't just a movie star, he's a brand. A brand built on charm, sarcasm, and likability. But behind that brand are NDAs, gag orders, controlled leaks, and carefully choreographed coincidences. Every scandal is buried under a new project. Every whisper is drowned out by a meme or a viral video. And every critic? Quietly erased or discredited. But what happens when too many voices break through the noise? When creators like Rob Liefeld refuse to be silent? When actors like Morena Baccarin don't play along? When insiders start choosing truth over loyalty? What happens when the brand can no longer hide the cracks? We may be about to find out. Because Deadpool and Wolverine isn't just a movie anymore. It's a test. A test of how much power one star can really hold. A test of how long the audience will keep laughing, while the people behind the curtain are silenced, sidelined, or sued. And with names like Downey Jr., Jackman, Baldoni, and even Taylor Swift now orbiting this storm, the truth is no longer just a whisper. It's an echo. And sooner or later, it's going to become a roar.